Jesus Christ. Calima.
Yeah.
I was like, I fucked it up the first time I put it up, and I put Calmia, and I was like,
it's right. Okay. It's okay. Once people hear what it is and like where it's from, they're like, oh yeah, duh. But before, yeah, and on all the tags that I have, people are like, because I used to tag everything your boy Calima. So when they would read it, they'd be like, Yabo Cali. What? But that's why I kind of shortened it down a little bit when I started tagging stuff, because I don't want to confuse everybody.
So I guess let's ask that right off the bat. Where's that name come from? What's the origin of that?
So it's a double entendre. It comes from the Planet of the Apes. The holy city of the Planet of the Apes is Calima. So that's the first layer, which is, yo, I got them bars, bro. Y'all should be looking at me like I'm Jesus when I'm on this track. Gotta have the cocky, artist side. But then on the other end of it, the actual word Calima for the movie comes from a sign that said "Caution Live Animal," which is what I feel like I am on the track, because I can eat it in a bunch of different varieties of flavors, styles. It don't really matter. I will get on a country beat. I will get on a EDM beat. It don't matter. If the beat's slapping, I'm japping. Period.
That's tight, man. I like that. So you said you tagged. Do you do street art?
No. I just meant meta tagging for songs and posts and stuff like that. Yeah.
Calima 420. That's your Instagram, right?
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
Tight. So, what's some of your background? Are you here from Des Moines?
Yeah. I was born here, raised here. I actually went to Moulton Elementary School. Went to North and Lincoln for high school. Then I moved to California for a little bit, for like 3 or 4 months. Came back. Just kind of, an average guy who figured out that he's got some musical talent. And am trying to apply the trade.
Hell yeah! Did you do any music while you were in California?
No. So actually, I went out to California on some Protect My Mom stuff. Oh. She met a guy who actually ended up becoming my stepdad. She met a guy online, like right around the time that the Craigslist killer thing was like a big ordeal type of thing, And so I'm like, Mom, where'd you meet, dude? She was like, oh, he lives in California. I'm like, Ma, you can't. Well, I really like him and I want him to come down here and I gotta meet dude. Like, now I was like 17, 18 at the time, so I didn't realize that what I was saying was, hey Mom, this dude might be a serial killer, send me out. so that I could be possibly added to his list. But I'd rather it be meeting my mom, and honestly, and that, I guess, is the whole moral of the story, is I just went out there to make sure that my mom wasn't gonna get murderized by some dude.
Some creep. Yeah.
Damn, that's funny. He turned out to be a real good dude. He's a real decent guy. Has kept my mom happy for like last 10 years or something like that. So
Well, hey, there you go, man. You do always hear those like success stories. Shit, we met online.
Yeah.
What was it? I think they say like 80% of people, like couples in relationship now, meet online.
Yeah,
like, nobody's doing it in person anymore.
Gotta keep 6 feet. You can't meet people like that. Straight up. Players everywhere was mad when COVID came through. Like, what? I can't get up in her ear no more? Hold up. Messed up the game.
Do you think they're going to double the distance by the end of the year? It's going to be 12 feet.
I don't know. I have enough problem with these people who want they 6 feet. Like, I gave you 6 feet, bro. Like,
the demands never end.
I had one lady in Walmart. She scared off 2 people who came up behind her, and she got to trying to go at me, and I was like, look, lady, just buy your food and go. Oh, you need to be 6 feet. I am 6 feet. No, you're not. Where's a tape measure? This is Walmart. Get the tape measure, because as much as you want to be petty, I'll be petty with you. Come on, 6 feet. Mark it out. And then so she like called for a manager and tried to Karen me, and I was like, nah, bruh. She just did this to 3 other people. I'm not moving. She can pay for her stuff and go, or she can go to a different line and go, or something. But I got in this line and I didn't do nothing wrong. They was like, yep, lady, let's take you over this way. Go ahead, sir. Have a good day. Thank you.
Gosh. People have nothing better to do. COVID has really like empowered the people who are like the Karens or like the hall monitor type people. Like, they're having a paradise right now. They have like this card to just like call anyone out.
Yes. And I mean, I get it. When I'm at work, mask up. When I'm out and about in somebody else's workplace, mask up. I definitely do it and whatnot. But like, when people are selective with it is when I really start to have issue. Like, a lady came into one of my jobs and was like talking all slick to one of my employees because I'm a manager, and I'm like, no, you're not going to talk to my employee like that. We'll get that taken care of for you, but speak to my workers with some respect. And she was like, oh, and they don't have no masks on. Da, 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 da. I was like, hold up. First off, she does have the mask on. Now, granted, you need to pull the mask up. But first off, and secondly, neither do you. Like, well, so what are we talking about?
You should provide that.
No, I mean, I will, but like,
gosh, yeah, that's hypocritical as fuck, man.
Yeah, that's funny though. I like it. I mean, that's you have to find something funny to laugh at, especially in the service industry. So like,
yeah,
you look foolish.
Yeah, food service is rough, man. I did that for like 5.5 years, and I can't imagine what COVID has done to that. I imagine it's just twice as stressful.
Yes. DoorDash drivers are very entitled. People just don't realize that you're doubling up on places that don't have lobby service. You're doubling up the drive-through, sometimes tripling because other places are closed. Then there's the added, like, I used to work at Five Guys, and they don't have a drive-through or anything like that. But then we're introduced to a delivery service through DoorDash and Grubhub with the COVID stuff. And so now it's like, oh, no, we have drive-through numbers on DoorDash or on curbside pickup. So, like, it's not easy for us to just hand it out the window. We actually have to walk it out of the store to you, put different gloves on every time we enter and exit the store. Yeah, all of that stuff.
Jesus.
And people are like, oh, where's my food, bruh? Just work with me here.
Yeah.
Just work with me here. Just hold on. You're going to get your food. I get it. You're hangry. But just cut me a break.
Gosh. Yeah, all the COVID scare shit has been nuts, man. Going back to that situation with that lady, like, all you can do during this time of COVID is control yourself. Like, oh yeah, it's crazy the liberties that people take where they think that they can control the environment around them and they can yell at people and scream at people, and it's like like, you are taking a risk being in this environment. You yourself are choosing to come to the store. If you don't like it, like, Hy-Vee does pick up, Walmart does pick up. There's plenty of alternative solutions. I said the same thing when COVID started. Like, why can't people, if they're willing to take their own risk, why can't you just let them take the risk? I don't know.
That's okay. I can't wait to see in 10 years start seeing did you take the COVID-19 vaccine? Did you go deaf in one ear? You might deserve compensation. Call us now at Hubie and Abraham.
Dude, it's gonna be true though. People are gonna be going to doctor's appointments and it'd be like, there's something wrong. It's from the COVID-19 vaccine.
Oh man, that's funny.
Are you gonna? I'm guessing that you're not gonna get that.
I am not a fan of vaccines in the first place.
Yeah, me neither.
I mean, I get how they're supposed to work, and if I could trust my government to not lie to me, then maybe I could trust vaccines. But
that's my problem too.
Anything I don't know exactly what it is that you're putting into me. You told me that you gave me X, Y, and Z vaccine, and I can look it up and see what the listed ingredients are. But that don't mean you ain't put something else in there. I don't know. Bruh, that's how the zombies are gonna have it. Like, all that. I'm not with none of that. And also, I am a Christian, and there is in my religion this thought of a microchip going into your body somewhere, somehow, and that being part of the mark of the beast and the end times and all that. And I'm not risking it. Nope. Can't convince me.
Yeah. I shouldn't. I wouldn't say I'm like an anti-vaxxer, because there are obviously vaccines that have been tested enough and gone through enough time that we know that it's okay. But COVID is
not the case.
No, not the case. Not the case. It happens so fast, so fast. I am not looking forward to the conversations I'm gonna have with my family when they're like, "Have you gotten the vaccine yet?" I'm like,
it just came out.
Yeah, I'm aware. I get an email every 10 minutes.
I do not want. I think you should treat your vaccines like you treat your consoles. You don't buy it when it first comes out because there's always a glitch.
Oh, jeez.
That's funny. I'm just saying. I did my research. You are the research.
Well, I know the one. I think it might have been Moderna, or no, Pfizer. I think Pfizer. They reportedly have had issues with previous vaccines of the production being rushed. And what was Johnson was giving the clots, right? I think. Well, I mean,
they can't even get baby powder right though. So like,
yeah, how much fucking plastics and everything, you know?
Man, like all we wanted was something to dry up pee from the baby, keep us fresh. It gave us cancer.
Another thing is like those disposable masks, like the amount of waste that's being produced by that is insane. Like it's like scattered among like when you like are walking, you see trash. It's like scattered amongst that now. It's like a bag of chips,
bottle or
People are not really. I feel like people are not really thinking the big picture when they're making all these decisions.
No. Maybe their big picture is different than ours. Like I said, it's the government, man. I mean, I might sound a little crazy, a little conspiracy, but like, nah. They definitely got they play in a whole different game than we are, and we're not even pawns on their board. We just happen to be there.
Just along for the ride.
Yeah, literally, just like. It's very much like the Game of Thrones, which I just watched for the second time, but it definitely is. There's a bunch of people who got money, names, and lands, and they're all vying to get more of all of those same things. And we'll throw 800,000 people at this experiment. We'll test this out on the entire population because.
well, we kill hundreds of thousands of people overseas every year, so I don't think we really give a shit about that.
No, not at all. At the fuck all. Straight up.
So going back to your music, when did you get started on that? Like, how old were you, and like, what's your influences and style with all that? So
I was, I'd say about 14, 15.
Okay.
My mom's an English teacher. So
That's
I always did poetry and stuff like that. I actually had a chance to be published in a poetry anthology book, but I was 14 and irresponsible, so I didn't make the deadline to submit the paper. Kicking myself now as an adult, yes.
Yeah, I feel that.
But then I also played in the band, and my dad was self-taught on keyboard, drums, saxophone, and some guitar. So we actually had a whole band worth of instruments in our basement. And then I was in the high school band. So one day I was actually listening to, I think it was the soundtrack for Jurassic Park while doing a poetry assignment for English. And I was like, yo, this kind of go to the beat. Hold up. Hey, did I just learn how to rap? And I'm 32. So back in the day, it was way harder to get a beat tape. You couldn't just go on YouTube and rip 18 beats in 20 minutes and just do what you do. You had to find somebody who made beats, and in Des Moines, that's not, especially back then, is not common. Yeah. And so I had one CD that my friend Tyler gave me, and it had some Lil Wayne and Birdman beats on it, and then it had some other just internet beats on it, and it was like having a a cheat sheet, which again, some of you younger cats don't know what that is. But back in the day, we couldn't just go to IGN.com and get all the cheat codes for the game we wanted. We had to find the piece of paper that was crinkled up and ripped and stained from thousands of other kids looking at it and using it, and has been passed around the whole town. So,
Damn.
finding a beat tape was like that. And so I was writing songs, and then my mom noticed and bought me a DAW setup, a digital audio workspace, called Magic's Music Maker, and I started making my own beats, and from then on it was all she wrote.
Out to the races.
Yeah.
So do you like still produce? Is that something, are like those two things that like, are those like interchangeable? Do you like do both?
I do. I more focus on the lyrical part of the music than I do on the production part, which is weird because I feel like I might actually be better at the production part. But they are two different beasts for me. They require two different types of creativity. And it's weird because for me, it's hard for me to write on beats that I created myself.
Okay, that's interesting.
I'm critical of the beat at all times because it's one of my works, and so I'm too focused on critiquing the beat every time I hear it to actually write lyrics to it. So I got some bangers, some bangers, but I give them to my little brother and stuff. I don't necessarily push the production part as hard. There was a time, I guess though, where I did have like a little studio set up, and I charged a little bit of time. It was like $20 an hour or something like that, which ain't bad. Actually, I think you did a podcast with G7.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, he was there.
Okay. Yeah, that's the boy.
Yeah, before he started doing his thing with Dirt Nasty Beats. Just a couple of kids, but most of my, if not all of my old stuff is done by me as far as production goes. As far as the recording, that kind of stuff. A lot of the beats were, thank God for YouTube. I was able to get a bunch of beats and stuff like that. But as far as the actual recording, production, and mixing and mastering and all of that stuff, that all me. And you can hear it. Like, I probably shouldn't, but I leave some of my older songs up because I like people to be able to see the progression. Like, okay,
I agree.
This one sounds a little rough around this area, but then I get to this song and, okay, hey, he must have got a different mic or something. I like that. Okay, I see him getting a little bit better there. And then they hit the plateau and they're like, oh, hey, this kid got some skills. And then they kind of feel like they grew with me. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like they were there for the whole journey. And even if you weren't actually there in actual time for the journey, now you can be there for the journey through the music. So
yeah, I like that sentiment. It's like Nirvana, like Bleach and In Utero are two completely different albums. Like there was so much progression that happened in between those two projects. I do the same thing. I try to, I guess like my first mixtape I ever did, it's just kind of on SoundCloud. I don't really, because I think it's crap. But I did like end up reposting some of my old music because I think that's important. I think it's important for people to, or even if you like say something stupid, people can like go back and say, hey, he said this thing, or this beat wasn't that good or whatever, but like you said, you see him progress and you're like, I don't know, it's better to see that journey than like to be the person who's like trying to delete everything and try to like create.
I was always the bomb.
Yeah.
No, you weren't. No, you were not. There are a few people out there, yes. And as far as freestyling goes, I will say as soon as I figured out I could rap, I've always been a bomb at freestyling. But as far as writing goes, no, that's two totally different things. Two completely different things.
So how does that work for you then? Like when you do you do a lot of freestyle still? Or
yes, but not recorded.
Okay.
Ooh, excuse me. Ooh. I will freestyle to keep myself sharp.
Okay.
In the car, got a beat that I'm rocking to, you know what I'm saying, or socializing with friends and beats on, All my brothers rap. Some of my sisters rap. Like, music is just in the family. So like, I could bust out. It's a musical. I could I could bust out in a freestyle at any time. But as far as recording, it's been a long time since I just recorded a freestyle, and I'm not sure why. Honestly, I'm not sure. I think it may be just a mental thing. Sometimes when I get in front of the microphone, and every single time I get on stage, I get stage fright. Period.
I feel that.
Adrenaline rushes through, and even though I know the songs, it's, yo, what if you just, I mean, you know the songs, but you're a human, bro. You can mess up. What happens if you mess up? Ooh, they gonna know. They gonna laugh. And I'm like, nah, I'm not that famous. They really not gonna know.
They probably won't laugh.
Like, well, I hope not, because they'll get roasted. But still, like,
fuck you. I'm not.
This went from a rap show to a comedy show real quick, because you laughing, but I don't see you on the stage, bro. What's up? Come up here. We can battle.
Yeah, like I was at that show last night, and you know, there are certain artists who, like, I don't know how you feel about like background vocals in like when you're performing, but like some people like abuse it. Like they like it's to the point where they're just not rapping at all.
They're lip syncing.
Yeah.
Personally, most of my show tracks, unless I'm rushed in or don't have access to certain beats anymore, have no background vocals other than ad libs, harmonies, and the chorus. I leave the chorus in so that I can breathe. Especially if I'm doing 4 or 5 songs, something like that. It's very important to be able to pace yourself to give quality show for the entire set. And because I'm not to the level where people know my songs and they will sing the choruses, then I leave the chorus in. Helps them learn the song, helps them learn the chorus because they hear it in its perfect production sound without, you know, any distortion from the microphone or me being out of breath from performing or anything like that. And then it gives me a chance to breathe, recollect myself, think about what's coming up next in the show, because when I do shows, I bring my own stage equipment, my own FX, everything, smoke machines, laser machines, that kind of stuff. Yeah, I don't play.
It's nuts.
Yeah, no, I've done a little bit of research into it, and it is just like everything else. You have to have the tools that you need. And I want to be able to, there was a time I do it with the mechanic work that I do mechanic work on the side. I always have my tools with me, but I did it the same way that I did my mechanic stuff, which is literally I would ride around with an entire performance ready to go in the back of the car, so that at any point in time, if somebody was like, hey, I know from so-and-so that you do music, I need you to come over here real quick and boom, bat, boom. And it won't be just a hodgepodge. He got on stage and there was a body up there and they was doing a song. It was, dude came, he had lights, he had smoke, his eyes was glowing. Did I see lights on the bottom of his shoes? That man is grown. Why he got light up shoes? Like, I want to be able to actually put on a show. This is music entertainment. This is the entertainment industry. Music is part of entertainment, yes, but a actual show is audio and visual. So, and tactile, actually. If you can figure out a way to physically give the audience something to feel and correlate with you, whether or not it's a t-shirt or a keychain or something like that, it actually goes a long way.
Yeah, it is. I guess it is those like little things, huh, that make you stand out. That's insane. I don't think I've ever heard of an artist carrying around their own smoke machine and that kind of stuff. That's pretty legit. So you talk about performing. Like, how many times have you performed? What's been your experiences with that?
I mean, I've been doing it a while, so I've performed a good number of times. I wouldn't say it's like in the hundreds or anything like that, but I don't know, maybe like 50 or so.
Wow.
From the time I was 16 until now, so like 16 years, something like that. But most recently, I went to actually. I was here, well, in your other spot, but with Phoenix when he did his, and so I actually went to the Atlanta thing with him.
Okay.
And went down there, and that was the second trip that I took that year. The first one was to Arizona. That was just on a different like work thing, but I still networked. Always network. I'm out of business cards. Haven't had some for a while, which is me slacking, being lazy. But always networking. It's easy to make the business card obsolete when I have a QR generator on my phone. So like, oh, you do music? Yep. I don't give you my name. I don't do none of that other stuff because I know what level I'm on. I'm not at the level where when you Google my name, it's the first one that comes up. It's not that. You need to get directly to me. QR code. You got an iPhone or any kind of Android, like boop, and it pulls the sound or the Spotify page up right there. I can do it so that it does it for a specific song. So like if I'm pushing one song for a while, then I'll use that one, that kind of stuff, but always networking. So I went to Arizona, went to Atlanta, and then I went and performed at a contest in Tampa for the Super Bowl. It wasn't Super Bowl sponsored, but it was marketed as a Super Bowl party. I didn't win, but I didn't expect to. There was a bunch of people there, but definitely made a lot of good connections. Again, always networking, finding out people that you can link what you have to with what they have. I didn't even really talk to a lot of artists. I talked to the vendors that were there. There was a purveyor of marijuana products, and they caught my segment, and we were chopping it up, and so we had discussion about maybe doing a show for one of their events that they're doing later this summer and things like that. There was a hand-rolled cigar salesman. My dad likes cigars, so picked up his card, and who knows, reach out to him one day and, hey, do a track with you. I got, some, because he was a Hispanic gentleman and they were Cuban cigars, so I'm going to assume that he was Cuban. It's probably wrong of me. But
how dare you appropriate.
But I'm just going to take the context clues. And so, I got Hispanic friends and maybe one of them rap, and boom, now I can connect somebody that is close to me with somebody that might be able to help them. They can do commercials or something for that person, or something like that. Or maybe I'll smoke your cigars in my videos exclusively for a year, and I'll push the brand, and you throw me a little bit of sponsorship money or something like that. Like, always thinking for that kind of stuff. Now, did I talk to artists? Yes, of course. I'm an artist. I always want to talk to the other artists. How did you do that? I like how that sound went. I need your sound on one of my projects. But also talking to the businesses, because again, it is music and business.
Yeah, that's definitely defines, or that's the difference between like people who are serious about it and people who are just buy a mic and they're like, I'm gonna be a rapper. But no, man, that's really cool. All those experiences. Fuck, give me a cigar.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you smoke cigars?
I do, with my dad and on other special occasions, like when my little brother had his first child. That kind of stuff. But they are a real man's smokable. It's a lot. I didn't know you wasn't really supposed to inhale them like that when I first like.
Yeah. Oh, that fucks you up,
dude.
Yeah, you're like hitting blunts and joints, and you try to do that cigar.
Everything comes out. Your whole soul just leaves your body. Like, you know what? Have that. I'm done.
I used to smoke cigarettes.
No, I still do.
Oh, you still do? Damn, that sucks.
Yeah, it does. It really does. I quit. That's why it sucks. I quit for 2 years.
Oh, damn! And you went back.
Yeah, the job situation. Like,
oh, okay. So it was stress.
Well, I was working at Five Guys, and I really noticed, cigarette smokers get 14 breaks throughout their shift.
Jesus Christ, it's a lot.
Like, well, to be fair, at the Five Guys that I was working at, we was on our shit. Like, we were bing, 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 orders out, orders in. So if one or two people dropped off to have a cigarette break real quick, it really wasn't, nothing. But when you're not also one of the people who are dropping out to have a cigarette break real quick, then you're like, hold on, bitch. Wait just a motherfucking second. So you telling me that because you're addicted to nicotine, you get extra break? Well, fuck it. Where's the cigarette at?
Hey, I'm an alcoholic. Can I dip out to drink?
Oh my god.
Damn. You always hear jokes about that, but like you're probably the first person I've met to actually start smoking because of breaks.
Look, no, for real. For real, because it didn't start out necessarily as I'm gonna go out there and smoke on the break, but they really only give you like a quick 5-6 minutes. Hurry up, smoke the cigarette. When you go out there, somebody else is out there, and they're like, "Oh, you want a square?" And as somebody who used to smoke, it's like, no, I'm good. And then the next half hour is really rough to you, and you get 400 people through the door, and you don't want to smoke no weed on the job because you on the job, and they offer you a cigarette on the next 5 or 6 minute little break that you get. You're like, you know what, motherfucker, hand me that Newport. For when these DoorDash drivers catch these hands.
Hand over the cancer. I don't care anymore.
Don't care. I'm dying slow. The cancer will kill me faster than this job is.
I don't have anything.
Universe, I don't want cancer. This is a joke. We don't.
Shit. It's hard though, man. Like the only reason I quit is because of LSD. Like I like 5.5 years, and I always worry about like going like the situation like that, like finding myself in a situation where I just go back to it.
Yeah.
Like there is a part of me that like will always miss that, like those moments where you just like, and Molly gives me shit. It's like, you can go outside without a cigarette. I'm like, that's not the point. Like it's a whole thing. Like stepping outside for a cigarette, lighting up.
It's an experience. It really is a whole thing. You pack the square, you get it out. It has that smell when you first open the cigarette pack, and then you light the cigarette, and then that has a different smell than when you actually start smoking it. And then you got the hand motions, and it's all a sacred ritual for de-stressing quickly.
Damn. I will say though, when you quit, like the smell of other people smoking is like insane. There was a lady smoking like 3 houses down, and I stepped out and I could fucking smell. It wasn't even windy or anything.
I get it. I really do. I'm very respectful with my cigarette smoking now versus like how I used to be, and I don't smoke quite as much cigarettes.
That's good.
And I can tell that I like physically, the thing that made me stop smoking was, I was starting to feel the effects of the smoke. Like I would hit the cigarette and I'd be like, damn, my chest feels heavy. I just don't, And I had just, at the time that started happening, I had just had my first kid. She was probably like 1.5, 2 years old. And I'm like, yo, I gotta be around. There's a life that depends on me. Yeah. And then it was easy because my best friend at the time was quit smoking cigarettes so that he could improve his voice, because we were doing music together and he was the singer, and so he needed to keep his instrument, his tool, in good shape. But he's got amazing self-discipline, because he literally was like, nope, I don't smoke cigarettes no more, and did not.
Damn. And he just did that on his own.
Yeah. I'm like, damn, bro. And he was on me like, nah, bro, if you buy a pack of squares, we boxing. Sometimes you need friends like that. Yeah. Real talk, sometimes you need friends like that. But yeah, no, I don't enjoy necessarily smoking cigarettes. But
I had a friend who he would go out with friends, and while they've smoked, and he would ask for a cigarette, and then he would just break it.
See, and that's the weird thing. I used to be that kid. Swear to God, 10-year-old Curtis. Look, dude, hide your cigarettes because you're grown and I'm not, and I know that my dad is bigger than anybody in this room, so I will come up and take your whole pack of cigarettes and snap it in half. And I literally did that as a kid. And then when they looked at me as an adult, like, did this little motherfucker just snap my cigarettes in half? I'd look at him and I'd be like, yo, bro, I just saved your life. Do you know how bad that is for you? And then they'd be looking at me like, okay, kid, you're right, but still, that costs money. And then I never really had, because everybody knew who my dad was, so I never really had anybody like give me no problem about it. But like, as an adult who smokes cigarettes, I now understand how disrespectful that was.
Kid, you're not saving any lives.
No.
You're not allowing, like, I can't save money. You're doing the opposite of saving me. Motherfucker, I'm just gonna go buy another one. So where are you at now? Like, how much do you smoke? Like a day, half pack?
Not even.
Damn,
like,
well, that's not bad.
Yeah, no, I smoke maybe 2 whole cigarettes a day. Like,
that's not that bad.
No, I don't really.
How's that pack a day?
I used to be at 2-pack of Newport 100.
Holy shit!
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
God damn, dude. Mm-hmm. You might already have cancer. You might be.
I don't know, man. I don't trust doctors, so I would know. No, I guess I trust doctors, but being a mechanic is like being a car doctor. So I understand how iffy a diagnosis really can be. There's literally 300 things that could be causing you to cough right now. We're eliminating 150 of them because they're rare. We're going to eliminate another 50 because you don't live in a third world country. Okay, so now we got another 50. That's still a lot. It's still a lot. And my dad told me this. He fucked my head up with this one. Not every doctor got good grades in school.
That's true.
So you got A+ doctors and you got C doctors. And you don't necessarily know which one you got.
I was just gonna say there's some fucking crackpot doctors, man.
Oh, it messed me up. Now this is something that I guess I don't necessarily talk about a lot. I used to be somewhat ashamed of it because I'm what do they call it? A cis heterosexual male or something. I'm very ag.
Well, yeah. Was it cisgender? Or whatever.
I'm very ag. Don't get me wrong. I love my transgender people. Obviously, my cousin Phoenix, and but the way I was brought up was very me man, me no cry. That kind of way. So, but
toxic masculinity, as they say.
But I, as a kid, my brother, when I first started smoking weed, I got stupid baked and was like stuck in the chair. And my brother decided that he wanted to give me a 5-minute purple nurple. And if you can see on my arm here, how I ketoid. So that's called ketosis or something like that. But my scar tissue is raised. So he's scarred underneath the skin, my chest. And so from the time I was 16 to 23, 24, I had an A-cup titty on one side. Now this relates because when I went to the surgeon to finally get it taken care of, I asked him what his GPA he said, do you have any other questions for me? I was like, yeah, what was your GPA in school? He was like, in high school? No, in medical school.
The most recent one.
Yeah, I don't give a fuck about high school. I need to know what your report card with that scalpel say, bruh. He said, I think I had a 4.0. Okay, we can work with that. We can work with that.
He probably made that up if you say, I think I have 4.0.
Well, I don't know. Again, I
feel like you would know.
I grew up very well. I don't. Maybe I shouldn't, but he was a Arab man, maybe from India or something like that. And as doctors, I tend to trust them a little bit more. I really do. They're smart people.
Yeah, it's true.
Call it a racist comment if you want, but it's nice racism. Shoot.
No, I mean, there's something to that though. people underestimate doctors from other countries. Like if you think about it, like they're from another country and there might be that language barrier, but usually when that's the case, it's like because they're one of the best in the country. So it's like the opposite.
Well, and not only that, they became the best in a country where maybe there's not as much technological advancement as in our country, which means that they were operating on a level that was on par with our doctors, with half the support, half the equipment to do the tests the right way, and they were still saving as many, if not more, lives.
Yeah.
And now you're bringing them into a situation where they went from having a rusty screwdriver to having an entire construction crew with cranes and all that at their disposal to get the job done. And so, not to mention, Americans are lazy as hell. And
we're dumb. And
say
lazy.
what you want about other cultures, but they are still very disciplined. A lot of other cultures are still very disciplined, and that comes through in every aspect of life, from schoolwork to their marital practices and things like that. They might seem strange to us. The traditions might seem a little out of step with what we normally do, but when you look at it without the filter of I'm an American on, they are very honorable in a lot of the things they do, and they even put, like, some Japanese families still will commit honorable suicide for failure.
Damn.
Usually in the underworld, but even for that to be a cultural thing that had ever happened, if you failed your lord in ancient Japan, you would kill yourself, literally, in the most honorable way possible, and it would be celebrated as, okay, well, he may have failed me as in this task that I gave him, but his honor and his family's honor is still intact because he understood that at this point in time, that's punishable by death. And so, but when that's what your culture comes out of, is supreme discipline to the point of giving your life, it's no wonder that they're leaps and bounds ahead of us in certain areas. Japan, technologically speaking, Japan is leaps and bounds ahead of what American people have at their disposal.
Yeah, man. Yeah, for real. Though, like Asians, despite, whatever popular belief, like Asians actually are succeeding extremely well in the American culture. Before the shooting, because the narrative kind of changed them, but like there were colleges and things actually enforcing like racist practices against Asians because they were doing too well. But there is something to that culture, like very disciplined. I knew an Asian guy when I was in high school, and he was a violinist, like probably one of the best performers to this day I've ever seen. And he would practice, right? And his mother would take pots and pans and bang them right in his face while he was performing. So like,
you better not miss a note, miss a step, miss a beat, none of that. My dad was very similar when he had me in wrestling. I don't like to toot my own horn too much, but I probably did have potential to be like an Olympic wrestler or something like that. And I know my dad did. He had 4 state championships and all kinds of things, like his whole life. They actually he has a book written about him by one of his coaches that's published.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah, but I would, from the age of 5 years old, go to his 4 wrestling practices that he went to every single day, and I would wrestle with him in his college wrestling club, and then go and compete in the 4 or 5 year old little A version of wrestling, and just dominated. just dominated. There was one kid, his last name was Fisher, and he did this move where he would take my wrist, fully extend the arm, put his forehead in my elbow, and push, and my only option was roll over or break my arm. And I finally got out, and when I finally got out, I gave that man the business. But he is the only person who consistently gave me L's the entire time that I was wrestling. But I was only that good because of the dedication, the discipline that was brought to that, which again is very much like a lot of those other cultures, from the time of birth, this is what you are going to do. And so we are going to steep you and bathe you in it every moment of every day.
Damn, I didn't even know they did wrestling for people that young.
5 years old.
Damn.
5 years old.
Well, hey, it's kind of like Tiger Woods, you know? I mean, that guy was fucking, like, he was basically abused into like, you know,
into greatness.
His level of success.
I mean, they did to Michael Jackson too, so.
Yeah. Jesus Christ. I just lost my fucking name. Oh, when did you wrestle in high school?
No.
Okay.
So after middle school, my mom and dad got divorced, and love you, pops, but he was a totalitarian, literally, like his way or the highway. I got my ass whooped. Now, I won't say that he was intentionally abusive. However, according to today's standard, he would be considered abusive, and in fact, part of today's standard is set because of the case that we had. So from middle school to high school, actually, from the beginning of middle school on, my parents weren't together, and for the most part of that, I was with my mom. Long story short, I got into a bunch of trouble as a kid, and my dad comes from a family of 21. His mom is from Arkansas, and so they believe in corporeal punishment, which I also believe in. I will spank the shit out of my kids if they get out of line, period. But he was also a very he's got a very Machiavellian mindset. He's very very intelligent. One of the first of his 21 siblings to go to college, and he majored in history with special focus on African American history. So he always tried to make every ass whooping a lesson as well. So it's not like it was senseless violence or anything like that. He just reinforced the message with with a belt. So I got into a bunch of trouble. I think I like stolen and cheated on a test, and I definitely tried to blow a car up.
Holy shit.
I put matches in the gas tank. I didn't light the match. I was 10. I don't know.
Did what gave you this idea? Did you not like the person?
It was a random car. I was bored at the bus stop. It was probably a movie. Low key, I was a pyromaniac. I almost burnt down the house a couple of times. But so all this came out to light, and so I went to my mom's house, because as a kid who has the option of go to which parent's house, you're always going to pick whichever house you're not in trouble at. And so my dad didn't force me to come back or anything like that. He waited until I came back, and he was like, okay, well, since you left it up to chance on when you was going to get this ass whooping, we going to leave up to chance how bad this ass whooping going to be. So he took a dice and he rolled it. And he rolled the dice and it hit 6. So he took out 6 more dice. He said, now you have to roll all these dice and whatever that adds up to. And bro, it came up to like 27 or 32 or something like that. It was bad. And so he beat my ass. He gave me, he didn't really give me the full 27 lashes. After about like 5, he started like double and triple counting. But the belt that he used came from a uniform that he had, because he also did Civil War reenactment plays.
Oh, shit.
And so it was like a 4-inch thick leather piece of belt. And I mean, I took it like a G as best I could, you know what I'm saying? There was some tears shed, you know, but the bruises that were left were literally from like back of the kneecap up to like,
oh, Jesus Christ.
So they came and pulled me out of school after my mom said something about it, and took pictures and all that stuff. And that's where we get our 24-hour no bruise rule. So yeah, but I still now let me say, as a person who got the shit beat out of him, I fully back physical punishment. I was literally kept out of situations because people wouldn't even ask me, oh, you want to go steal this car? No, we not asking him that. You're not coming, bro. Your dad will kill you. Like, that's to the point where it wasn't. My dad would come to the school and he would beat my ass in front of the whole class. Like, oh, you want to act a fool in front of everybody, you're going to get embarrassed in front of, and as it probably was traumatic, but I agree with it because I physically know I'm the person who didn't make the bad choice because I was not going to let that happen to me again. What are you talking about? So, like, but I definitely believe that there is a bit of a difference in the way that I apply physical punishment than the way that my dad does.
Don't use a 4-inch belt.
No, first off, no. I think I've only spanked my kids with a belt like one time. And that is for special occasions of just buffoonery.
Yeah.
But most of the time it's the hand. Usually I just smack their hands, but if I have to smack their butt, then maybe 3 or 4 swats. But I don't do it while I'm angry or upset about the situation. Or at least I try not to. I'm a human. I'm not perfect. So, I'm not going to act like I am. But for the most part, they did something wrong. I'm not really mad at them, but I do have to show them that what they did was wrong. I explain to them, this is why you're getting spanked. They never get spanked if I didn't have, I hadn't already told them about the situation. Like, don't do this because of this, this, and this. Or do this because of this, this, and this. And then they don't do it. And then the next time that repeats itself, then it's, well, I told you, so now, you have to get a punishment. Now, it's not always a spanking, but since that's what we're talking about. Then, they get their little spanks. Then I give them the option to get a hug if they want one. Some of my kids are sensitive, others are not. And then they're no longer in trouble. They're not grounded anymore. They're not, there's nothing else that is going to happen to them. The punishment is over. And sometimes I even give them the option, like my two favorite physical forms of punishment are holding heavy objects out like this until your arms want to drop off. And then the other favorite that I use is, well, I shouldn't say favorite, but the other one that I favor is the spanking. But the kids have their preference. My son would rather take an ass whipping than hold stuff out like this. He's like, look, bro. He's tried it. Literally, like 2 weeks ago, he was holding something out. He was like, nah, give me the whipping. Give me the whipping. Can I change my mind? Give me the whipping. All right. Because they know that I'm not beating them, I'm not really going to hurt them. They're going to feel some pain from getting spanked, but sometimes life's lessons are painful.
Damn.
They are. They are, but it's also a little bit of a cultural thing. Like I said, grandma's from the South.
Yeah, I get that.
So,
do you, I don't know if it's too personal, but do you hold any resentment toward your father for any of that?
Yes. Yes. And we work on it every day. And I literally just went through a 6-month period of not talking to him because, Jesus. So, long story short, there was a girl. She was a slut. I got my feelings hurt. And so, in the midst of getting my feelings hurt, I was finna go hurt some people. And I called one of my brothers for a little bit of backup because the person that I was finna go fight was known to carry a gun, and I didn't have no gun. So, this man, I called the wrong brother is what happened. I called my brother who's a little more shooketh with life. He's not if I would have called my other brother, we would have just went down there and took care of business. But long story short, I ended up having to fight my brother and my dad because they weren't going to let me go get into this confrontation with this other person. And in the midst of doing that, Pops cracked a rib or pulled a muscle or something like that on me. So I was like, as long as my rib hurt, I ain't talking to you. Because it is, I have PTSD and I have, they call it situational depression. That stems from my interactions with my dad. And he triggers me. So when that happened, I was triggered and I had to step away from him for my own mental sanity. And it's honestly, it's not just I would say the least of it would be the spanking that caused the trauma like I said, Dad had a Machiavellian mindset. He likes to play mind games. And so some of my punishments that were not physical were probably worse. Like, I was in jail at like 11. We were building a room for me in the basement. I did something wrong, and my punishment was a week in the bars of, because it was all studded out, like, you know, all the studs were up, but no drywall or anything like that, so it looked like a jail cell. And I had to use a bucket for the bathroom, and I only got an hour outside to play. And I think it was the summertime, or maybe like spring break or something like that, but I only got an hour outside. Now, granted, the meals was infinitely better than jail meals, but but like, and part of my hour of yard time was cleaning out my bucket, like, so that kind of thing was traumatic. But
yeah,
at the end of the day, though, I would not be the person that I am, for all the goods and the bads that is, without those experiences. And so I don't hate the person I am, like,
yeah.
So, you know, I'm not overly disappointed with who I have become, and so I'm not overly upset with him. And as a father, I now know that sometimes you just fuck up. Nobody knows what the fuck they doing. As a parent, you really don't. You just wing it.
Yeah. Shit. That. Goddamn. I can't say I've ever heard of something quite like that. Being literally in prison in your basement. Oh my gosh. Mm-hmm. I mean, nothing compared to, you know, what you've told, but my dad was definitely like more of a corporal punishment kind of guy, and he definitely did some, like, I wouldn't necessarily describe it as Machiavellian, but like he definitely kind of played, you know, my games and kind of like had like a power trip to him a little bit. So, yeah, that's a, you know, what I guess, like, what do you say to people who like are really anti-corporal punishment, and, you know, they like no hitting?
I literally was just in an argument with some friends of mine on Facebook for like a week over this subject.
Of course, where all the arguments happen.
All the arguments happen. But first and foremost, to each their own. You raise yours how you want to raise yours. I raise mine how I want to raise mine. Come holla at me when you want to find out about a spanking, after little Timmy there knocks everything off the shelf in Walmart for the 4th time and throws his ass out on the floor and starts kicking and screaming and strips down butt naked and starts running around. Because my kids won't do that, because they know that they will get fucked up in that store the moment that their eye even touches the object and they think that they're about to knock it off. That's the thing. They won't have the thought to knock it off the shelf, and if they do, they've learned not to, because they'll get fucked up. Like, and that's the biggest part about corporal punishment. I think this is the number one thing that people who don't spank their kids need to understand. When people who do spank their kids talk about spanking their kids, the language that we use is infinitely worse than the action that it is describing. I say I beat my kid's ass. I'm a grown ass man. I'm sure that people who don't spank their kids are like, oh my God, he's punching him and doing the most. And in reality, I swatted him like 3 times, and not even hard. And he's crying because his feelings are hurt, not because he's hurt. Like, what? But I think that is the biggest thing, is the way that it comes across. Because every person I know that spanks their kids, like, yeah, I'll beat that little motherfucker's ass. Like, you're not finna act like that. And I will say this: it is a lot easier to because they always advocate, communicate with your child. First off, communication requires a certain level of understanding. Certain things can't be communicated to children because they don't have that level of understanding.
That's an interesting thought.
Secondly, I do not have time to communicate everything. Sometimes I need you to immediately respond to what I told you to do right now. Like when you're so caught up playing with your ball that rolled in the street that you run out there and there's a car coming and you don't see it. When I say stop, I need you to stop dead in your tracks, like your life depends on it, because it does. And the only thing that keeps any animal, because human beings ain't nothing but animals, every animal learns quickest through pain. Smack. Ooh, that hurt. I'm not going to do that again. Or, ooh, I ate that. Now my stomach hurts. We don't touch those. And those pain memories are so strong that they're passed on genetically. So, and then that's what becomes known as instinct. If I flash 100 cards in front of you of different pictures at like, I don't know, remember the rate, but a quick rate so that it's hard to identify individual pictures, the human mind is more likely to pick up snakes and spiders out of any of the other random objects that could be in that deck of photo flashcards. And that's because genetically we remember that those things are dangerous.
That's interesting.
So when I do apply the corporal punishment, it is in the hopes that, okay, Dad told me to stop. If I don't do what he says, I could get smacked. Hit the brakes. Car does not hit my kid. You feel me? Like, and I don't know about you, but if you're a parent and you say you would do anything to protect your children and you won't smack your kid upside the head to make sure that they don't kill themselves, you won't do anything to protect your children. Period. Now, what I don't do is pretend that I know fucking everything with my kids. Dad fucks up, guys. And in fact, I had to let my son, quote unquote, spank me the other day. Because I'm fair like that. I taught him a bad habit of jiggling butts. And so he was jiggling too many booties, and I know that it's not really his fault because he was taught that, but I still have to now correct that. Yeah. So, son, I have been telling you all week to stop jiggling butts, and you ain't been listening, so I'm gonna smack your hand. She had actually I wasn't even at home. My girlfriend was home, so that's why I was being told about it. And so, son, she told you 3 times to stop and you didn't. Okay, well now you're gonna get 3 smacks, but it's Daddy's fault too. So you're gonna get 2 smacks, and the 3rd smack you get to smack Daddy. I mean, that's fair to me. Like, and then I explained to him that the lesson behind that is when you take advice from somebody, when you learn from somebody, when somebody is your mentor, they do have a responsibility to you to show you correct things. And if you are able to identify that they are not showing you correct things, you need to hold them accountable for leading you astray. I trusted you in order to teach me whatever this thing was, and for him and me it's life, and you gave me fucked up advice. You either need to participate in fixing what I fucked up behind your advice, or you need to be somehow supporting me in fixing that. Because I took your advice. And that definitely comes from my interactions with my father. He's great at giving advice when I take it and it fucks up because my life is not his life and we go against some different challenges. Then he's like, oh, well, it worked for me, so motherfucker.
Well, and another thing some parents don't understand is like your child is always going to like naturally work against you at some point, like, and in some degree, you know. It's always going to happen. There's always going to be that rebellious nature to it. You say your father. I wanted to ask you about this. What's that? You kind of talked about a little bit with the corporal punishment, but like, what's it like being a parent? I always like to ask people this. And how many kids do you have?
Biological, I have 5 children. My girlfriend has 3 kids, and then my oldest daughter's mom had a child that I had a hand in raising until she was like 7 or 8. And then the slut girl who fucked my brain up, her son, I raised from the time he was like 3 weeks old until he was like a year old. And then she decided to be a little weirdo. And so, but I have kids that I influence right now, 9.
Damn. So they're all in your. Are they all in your house?
I have visitation agreements and stuff like that with.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, I see all of my children except for one. Her mom's a super weirdo. Personally speaking, I feel like maybe she just wanted to have a kid of mine because she seen a picture of my daughter and saw that I made cute babies. Bro, I know the shit that I say sounds so weird, but like
people do that shit.
Dude, I'm telling you, we didn't fuck for like the first 3 weeks that we was dating. Then she finally let me sleep with her, ran out of condoms, still did the damn thing, both knowing, and then I caught her looking at an ovulation chart. Like,
jeesh, that's some.
And then when she found out she was pregnant, she broke up with me without telling me. She just left, and like, then called or messaged me like 2 weeks later, like, "Oh, I'm pregnant," da 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 da, and I'm like, didn't want to keep the baby, or at least that's what she was telling me. She was talking about an abortion. I talked her out of that. She was talking about an adoption. I talked her out of that, and now won't let me see the kid. I'm like, bro, and want to make people think that I'm like a deadbeat. First off, bitch, I pay my child support. I signed up on child support before the child was born. Like, I knew it was mine. She tried to lie to me and say it wasn't mine. Like, dog. I'm like, yo, if
those are like the nightmare situations where like I'm not for like that's when I'm like I don't really give a shit about women's rights.
Hell, I mean. When it comes, and this is what I get what they're saying. I definitely do. For the most part, it is their body, and it should be their choice what happens to their body. I do believe in choice. My thought process, though, is that the choice happens at the point where you're having the sex. If you didn't choose to protect yourself in some way, then I cannot be okay with you getting an abortion. Now, there's no 100% contraceptive other than abstinence. If you took every possible step and you had a miracle baby, then I might be able to excuse that because you did everything that you possibly could do to prevent that situation. Would I still personally maybe feel some type of way about that? Yes. But no, I do not believe that a woman should have to have their rapist's child. If there is a health issue, then yes, the woman should choose her own life, if that's what she wants to choose. But if you just out here thotting, and not protecting yourself, lie in that bed you just made or unmade, however you want to take it. But like, you grown, you can't be mad that you know how to make a baby. Like, you know how to make a baby, so don't do what it takes to make a baby, and try and be mad when you get a baby. That's dumb. And then at what point does the baby become, like, when did they get body autonomy? Because personally for me, the moment that they're conceived, they have body autonomy. Their body, their choice. And since they can't voice their choice, we have a responsibility to assume that they would like to live, because every living being on the planet has one thing in common: the prerogative to live, to continue to live.
Yeah, I really agree with that sentiment. They say only like, I think like 13% of abortions are because of rape, incest, or medical deficiencies. So like an overwhelming amount is like what you said, like thotting. Like people like there's something like I don't think the abortion should be taken away. I think that's something that people should still have the right to, because government can't legislate morality. It's never worked. But I do think I think sometimes the idea of abortion takes away a sense of responsibility. People, making reckless decisions. Like, I'm really thankful that I have my, whole life really been conscious about, like, when I'm having sex with people, like, I don't want a kid.
I could have been a little bit better at that. I could have been a little bit better at that. Really.
I guess that was my thing, is like, it's weird. I feel like our like people my age and younger almost look at kids as like an
curse.
Yeah.
And look, Because I got a lot. I got a whole... I can start a basketball team. I got first string, literally. So, like... And then when you add my girlfriend's kids into it, I got some B string, too. Like, so... But, I had a couple of scares recently where I had a girl pregnant. Do I need another fucking child? No. But I'm a grown-ass man, and I knew exactly what the fuck I was doing. And as a man, I have to take responsibility for that, and responsibility for that does not mean end the potential of this being. And it's very interesting to me that we call men who don't take responsibility of a child deadbeat. But when a woman does it the only way a woman really can, she's not called a deadbeat, but the baby is dead. Like, and not to be overly harsh about the situation, but it's very rare to see a woman who is a deadbeat mom, quote unquote, because they don't have their child with them and because they drop that child upon the father and that kind of thing. Normally women who are going to do that, in my experience anyways, I'm not a fucking expert, end up going and getting an abortion or like give it to their grandma or somebody, something like that. But they don't normally leave the dad. I literally know one fucking, maybe two, but one that I can think of right off the top of my head who he's got complete custody of his children and mom is a deadbeat mom. So like, or child, because he was always pretty careful, except for the one time, obviously. But no, it's definitely interesting. And then what another thing that gets failed to be addressed in that conversation is, yeah, it is a metamorphosis that is happening in the woman's body. There are emotional ramifications, however, that affect more than just her, and she is given the full power of the decision. That child is also partially whoever the dude is.
I agree. Yeah, it should be a joint. Like, obviously, at the end of the day, it's her choice, but it really should be like a joint. Like, you hear those stories about men who are fucking devastated because they I
would have been
like they they maybe don't want to take on the responsibility, but they get ready, and then it's just it's ended. I didn't want to go through that either. Either of those situations are bad.
Yep.
Be smart. Bag it.
As a kid, I did my we had like a marketing class or something, but I had a giant Pez dispenser and I put it inside a teddy bear and it had one eye, so the teddy bear's name was One Eye Willie. And the Pez dispenser I set up so that it would dispense condoms. And my slogan for the class was "Don't be silly, wrap your willy." I got an A. I got an A. Didn't take my own advice. Could have used my own product.
Yeah, right. Didn't really learn the material.
But I excelled in the class, and that there's the main issue with the American learning structure today. Passed the class, didn't learn a fucking lesson.
Oh gosh.
Which, funnily enough, is why I do some of the music that I do, is because it does teach things. I try to be fucking honest in my music. You don't really hear too much music about me balling through the roof or nothing like that, because I'm not. Bitch, I can't. I got 5 kids. You can just hear me. But I definitely talk about like causality and choices and just being aware of what the fuck it is you're doing, because that's the one thing that I was not taught. Be aware. Yeah, motherfucker, you 10. But at 10 years old, you can make a choice right now to fuck up the rest of your life. Period. Go put your hand in that fire and let that motherfucker get burnt off. Watch how fucked up the rest of your life be as you walk around with one hand. Go steal the wrong thing from the wrong person and don't have a life anymore, because that's the day and age that we live in now. Like, you're 10, but you are making big decisions, little homie. And so I put that into my music. There's one song. It is called Mirror, Broken Mirror, and it is a letter from like alternate universe rich me who made it to broke non-successful me, and it is very honest with myself about myself, like, bro, quit being scared of succeeding, just because you don't know what that's gonna be like, what that's gonna feel like. Because like I said, I keep it, man, I am not a rich man monetarily. I have other wealth in my life with my kids and stuff, but as far as money goes, I got a lot of kids, I got a lot of mouths to feed, and I do what I have to in order to make sure that they get fed. So like, I don't have a whole lot of extra all the time, and that's what I write my music out of. That's where I get my inspiration, the struggle to attain that. So what the fuck happens if I attain that?
Yeah.
Will I be able to write music anymore? If I do, will it be as meaningful? Would I have a savvy business deal and in my first 2 or 3 records make enough money that me and my kids can be set for life and nobody has to work or anything like that and fall off? And if so, would I be okay with that? At the end of the day, this is a skill that was developed to help me deal with the ass whoopings, to help me deal with the fact that my parents were divorced, and so I lived with the side effects of those, which is both parents work all fucking day long. I'm the oldest brother. I've been taking care of kids my whole fucking life. Second oldest, I guess, on my dad's side, but oldest on my mom's side. And those are the, like, after that, all the siblings are mine. Like, full blood. Not that I consider my half-brother any less of my brother or my half-sister. But that's what this came out of. That was how I dealt with stuff. Was, ouch, that hurt me emotionally. Again, I'm a classically trained dude, so I can't really cry about it. I put it into my music. I listen to smooth R&B all the time, but I make rap music, and sometimes it is aggressive. Now, like I said, I don't try to speak on anything that I don't live, so I'm not talking about, oh, I'm busting caps in people's ass and woo 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 wop wop. No, fam, I'm not. However, I will put these hands to you. I will make sure that you never deign to even think of me in any kind of light, positive or negative, ever again if you cross me the wrong way. And I will do it musically. People love music. Let somebody write a song about you that is talking shit and it's catchy. There's a reason why people get shot over diss tracks. When you got people that you fuck with, yo, homies, humming a song that's talking shit about you. And here's the worst part. When you got a real good song, when it's a real thumper, you get to humming the damn song yourself because everybody's listening to it, and it's just fucking there. Every time you turn on the radio, you fucking hear it. That shit will destroy you. And even though, well, yes, I actually have had my song on some internet radio stations and stuff.
Oh, tight.
But when I was in school, the way that I would make that happen is I would do the Ludacris thing. I would burn off 600 CDs, put them in a duffel bag, and take them to school and flood the school. And anybody who I had felt some type of way about knew. And some of those kids changed schools. Like, so when I'm rapping, I talk about and it's funny that I said Ludacris because he is one of my influences. He's what you would consider a studio gangster, not meaning that he's not hood, he's not qualified to protect himself or anything like that. It just means that he wasn't literally out there busting gats, slanging crack on the block all day, every day. You know what I'm saying? But he was able to use the terminology in a poetic way to describe his own hustle, which A lot of it was selling CDs out of the back seat or the back of his car, and being an internet or being a radio, not a smaller radio personality and stuff like that before he actually broke into music and whatnot. A lot of my style is very similar to his, because when I was growing up, that he was the hottest one of the hottest motherfuckers around. Like Twista. As far as new people, fuck with Kendrick.
Fuck yeah.
Fuck with J. Cole. Even though J. Cole, he be making me mad sometimes. Like,
how so?
He get on a feature for anybody else's track and go fucking bananas. Just ape shit, just raw beast. And then he becomes Professor Hulk on his own projects.
I can see that. I can see what you're saying.
Which is cool. I love all of his shit. Like I said, I'm one of his fans. But, bro, sometimes we want to see you beast on your own shit. Like, we know you got it. We know. Just give us one. You know what I'm saying? We know you got it. Don't get me wrong. As I consider myself a lyricist. I consider myself to be a wordsmith. I like to play with the words. And I like to imbue a message into the song. So that's why I fuck with Cole, because a lot of his songs are music with message. And I love that. And I don't give a damn about a whole 15, 16 track album. That's nothing but that. But I just need one slapper in between all the message, because sometimes that one slapper actually ties all the whole message in together. Like, this song is an embodiment of me just acting out crazy. This is the I'm in the club drunk, fucked up, fighting niggas, whoop 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 whoop, that kind of thing. That's what this song is. But these other 10 songs on the outsides of it are the staircase that led to that. Again, it's probably because my mom's an English teacher, but it's these kinds of things to me as an artist are always a story. Everything that you do with it to me is a story. And so, like, when I do make what I consider a nonsensical song about being in the club or big booty hoes clapping, whatever, there has been 4 or 5 songs about something that I was struggling with, or a few things that I was struggling with, and how mentally I was starting to deteriorate, and that there was about to be a breaking point. Boom, here's the song. That song is the breaking point, and then the songs behind it are like recovery.
That's interesting. So that's how you like lay out your projects then,
yeah,
essentially. Well, I like the sentiment that you were saying with like that hunger, like that hunger for being a rapper. Like, I can imagine that someone loses that significantly when they find success. There's this controversy that Eminem lost it. You can name all these. I mean, not all of them do. Like Jay-Z and
Snoop.
Yeah, I mean, they're always killing it, but like, there is something to like losing that. I think it's a lot of people want to be a rapper, but do you really want to like be a rapper? Do you really want to be famous?
People don't understand what being something means. Oh, I want to be a rapper. Do you really? Do you really? Do you even know what that really means?
Yeah.
Do you know what it's like to put literally your soul into a audio or visual format and then place it in front of others to be judged?
Yeah, I mean, your entire life essentially, like Eminem, like everything with Kim and all that, his mom,
every single thing, and even things that don't happen when you're famous, things from before that. They go back in. Back in the 3rd grade, he did this and this and this, bruh. I was 7. Yeah, I flicked a little Molly Wilcox with a booger, like. What do you mean?
You tweet when you're 15 that school's retarded.
Yeah, literally. Like, what is? But that's one thing that I do touch on in a couple of my songs, actually. One of my favorite lines that I've ever dropped is "Trying means trying, not trying means trying is trying, not trying means failed." So obviously the word plays on the word trying, but trying to accomplish a goal is trying. It's tiring. There's tribulation. But if you don't try and get through that trying period, then you fail. And And so the only way to actually fail is to not try. A lot of people say the only time you fail is when you give up. I won't say that. Sometimes you have to give up. That's just not working. Now I got to try something else. The goal remains the same. But if I'm not getting to it on Avenue A, I need to leave Avenue A the fuck alone and go to Avenue B. So, and that's kind of where the production thing that we talked about earlier kind of steps into play a little bit. Is I'm cold. I say I'm cold with the production. I work with DJ X when he records my stuff, and I have the honor to be able to still impart some knowledge upon somebody of his caliber, and he's got real people in his fucking studio, Sada Baby and who else he said he had in there, Hell Rel, and just actual real names when they come to Des Moines or anywhere nearby. The few times that they actually do, they find their way into his studio, and I have the honor to be able to give him any kind of advice on how to use a digital audio workspace. And so I would say I'm a little bit cold with it, but like I may, now that I'm starting to get older, start leaning a little more heavier on the production side than the actual live performance side. Just because I'm getting a little bit older. I like to be in bed at like 9. I'm not gonna lie. Now that might change if I'm on tour and successfully making music, and then my natural rhythm changes. But as of right now, shoot, 9-10 o'clock.
Wake up early.
Yeah, sounding real pillowish.
I feel that, man. Yeah, I feel like that's because I do rap and stuff. Like I feel like podcasting is always my focus, because like there's something about that rap lifestyle that I'm just like, I'm not 100%. Like I enjoy dabbling in it and like going to shows and stuff. But yeah, I couldn't. Even people local that haven't really made it. Like I couldn't do what they do. I couldn't do their lifestyle.
That's my
constantly promoting themselves. And
that's
all
my
that
weakest point. I swear to God, that is the reason why I'm not quote unquote famous today, is because I am an artist. I am not a marketer. I am not a promoter. I am not none of that other shit. I'm an artist, and that don't get you shit. Period. People, listen, if you do music and you thinking that you're so talented that somebody's just gonna hear your music magically and swoop you up and change your life, bippity boppity boo, I promise you, it's not gonna happen to you.
No.
You can be the most talented person on the planet, but if the right people don't hear you and you don't put yourself in front of them, you're not getting it. Period. And that was one of my biggest mistakes. I will present you my work and let it speak for itself. And that, I think, comes from my own personal sense of honor. I've always been that way. I try not to talk up about myself too much. Where I know I'm strong at, yes, I will tell you. But for the most part, when somebody be like, oh, you rap? I don't be like, yeah. Or be like, oh, yeah, nigga, I got bars. I whip my phone out and I play a song. You tell me, do I rap? Because that's ultimately who chooses whether or not I actually rap. I could think I'm rapping all day long, but motherfucker, if nobody likes my shit, then, and that's the other piece of advice I'd give other starting artists, starting and starving. Your numbers are more important than your music. Sorry, but it's true. If you do not have a certain Instagram presence, which I do not have, if you do not have a certain presence within your town, which I do not have, which if you do not have a certain suaveness on multiple social media platforms, which I do not have, you are not going to get as far as you need. But rejoice, because that is the thing that you can learn. You can't learn talent. You can learn how to be a better marketer. You can learn how to be more active on Facebook through discipline and self-control. You can teach yourself how to get in the habit of posting when you should, what you should, how you should. What you cannot teach yourself is how to ride a hot 16 without some kind of a talent. Obviously, when I started riding my 16s, they wasn't hot. They was probably like baby bowl, baby pear, baby bear porridge cold. You know what I'm saying? But like, you can work on it, but if you don't have any talent for it at all, then yeah, no, it's not gonna happen. But even if you have all of the talent, I will say this: every one of you are the most talented person in the world. Assume that, believe that, live that, but also understand that that's not gonna help you.
Yeah, you're competing against a whole world of people
who are all, you have to assume, are just as talented or more so talented than you. And so it really does come down to how well do I understand the rules of the game.
Yeah.
And the rules of the game are, they're not going to look at you until you make them look at you. How do you make a corporation, an entity that makes billions of dollars on music or entertainment look at you? By stealing their customers. Oh shit, dude just made a gold track. We just lost $300,000 in that market over there because they decided to fuck with his tape over one of our artists. You need to peek at that. Now they got now you got their attention. And it's much easier to absorb a threat into a business than it is to fight the threat. So also be careful that when you do catch their eye and they do offer you something, that you read all of your paperwork accordingly.
Yeah. Yeah, don't be like a ECE, you know.
Yeah, they will shelve you, period. They will buy you and pay you $1 million simply so that you can't release your project. So that the artist that they want to focus on and want to put out there doesn't have competition in that market. They will bench your ass quick. So if the label route is the way that somebody wants to go, they need to definitely be careful of that. Always have you a lawyer that is accredited and all that. Do not use your shady Uncle Tom. Like, I would not honestly have family involved in your business at all, as far as cutting you deals or a way where they make commission off of you or anything like that, because you're going to ruin one of the relationships, either the business relationship or the family relationship.
Yeah, they don't mix. Yeah.
But always be very, very, very aware of that kind of stuff. I've only, like I try to say, I only speak on things that I know about. I spent $700 getting a quote unquote manager, almost signed a 360 deal, which would have given him rights to all of my shit.
Oh, damn.
And the only way that I figured it out is because I kept having other people double check, because I can check up on somebody as much as I want to, but I'm only going to see and believe what I want to see and believe. And what I want to see and believe is that this person wants to give me millions of dollars to do my craft. So that's all and I'm willing to give him $700 as a fee in order to do that. And he tried to get a lot more money than that from me. But then I realized, or then one of my cousins was like, no, don't deal with this dude. He actually did the same thing to our cousin, Bozo, and almost caught him up the same way. So I told dude that I wasn't going to sign it until I had a lawyer look over it. He got to talking. He was like, oh, well, or he must have thought that I already signed it because he said something. And then I was like, no, I'm not signing it until I have a lawyer look over it. And he was like, oh, well, I thought you already signed it. I was like, no, I didn't. You need to give me my money back. Like, I got for $700. I really did. But it's one of the things that you learn. It really is. It's one of the things that you can't. That's what being a rapper is.
Yeah.
That's what being a rapper is getting got for $700. More than once. Me personally, maybe not more than once, but like, I'm sure that there will be another, when I break into the next level of this, I'm sure there will be another situation that I don't know that is involved with money like that. And I make an investment hoping that it improves what I got going on, and it turns out to be a scam. Scared money don't make money, so I'll put money wherever I think it's gonna, but if I don't have the time to, or the acumen to clearly assess the situation, I might get got. And that's another thing. You have to be honest with yourself. Do you have enough know-how to be dealing with what the fuck you dealing with? If not, get the motherfucker who does.
Yeah, you know, some people are really hot-headed. You know, especially around here, people say that they're the best at something. And like Iowa, it's like you don't even know that. You know?
I like the confidence.
Yeah, right. Well, I think the whole thing with like the label I think that's changing a lot with internet. And I just switched over to DistroKid like a month ago, and it works great. It's like
that's what I use. Yeah, that's what I use. Mm-hmm.
I remember. Actually, I just got charged for. I'm trying to cancel it. TuneCore, because what they do is it's a recurring deal. So I have an album and 2 singles through them. So I just get charged $50 a year. But with DistroKid, it's like this flat 20.
One time
for everything. Yeah, it's really changing. It's kind of weird.
They're really good too. While we're talking about DistroKid, they have a feature on the second level of membership where you can pick out your release date. And they messed up my release date, and I reached out to him and was like, bro, this was supposed to be dropped 3 days ago. What's going on? And at first I was met with, well, because of holidays and COVID and that's fine. But I submitted it 3 weeks ago like I'm supposed to. As an artist, this is embarrassing. And it's hurtful to my brand because now my customers can't count on me to drop music when I said I was going to drop music. And they reached back and was like, you know what, you're right, we apologize, we're going to upgrade you to this, that, and the other. And they gave me a little bit of a refund because I did pay for the ability to pick out my day. And so their customer service, as far as I've dealt with them, is very nice, which for me is a huge thing. I'm so strict on customer service. I will take multiple mistakes as long as your customer service handles it the right way. But if you got shitty customer service the first time, bruh.
Yeah, once you've made that impression, it's kind of hard to get over that. So obviously, the last time I met you, we had Ontario Phoenix on, and from what I understand, if I remember correctly, you guys, when you were younger, you spent quite a bit of time together. He was living with you. How has because he. Not to
no, go ahead.
Shadow you or anything, but he has garnered quite a bit of success. How has that affected you? Has that propelled you in any way?
So it's a little bit of a roller coaster. Cousin and I definitely had a strong 10-year period where we were not talking to each other, and it was definitely almost to blows. However, as always, I try to be very self-aware. I knew that there was potential for the creation of the spirit of hater in me in that situation. So when I wasn't talking to him, I didn't watch his music, period. I didn't watch anything that he was doing. Just because I didn't want to give myself any kind of temptation of becoming a hater. So fast forward to when we reconcile. And it is very lovely to see this person that when I met them he was still she in a pre-transformation. And at that time we were so young that the idea of transgenderism was still very, 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 very new.
A lot of people probably didn't even know what it was.
And so I got to see the transformation from who he was into who he is on that level and musically. I currently at this point use his success as a way to reassure myself that yes, I can do it. It is going to take a lot of hard things to do, and it gives me some kind of structure though in order to somewhat follow, which there is a lot of pride that is entangled in that area, but I consider myself to be one of his mentors. When he approached me about becoming a he, that's exactly how he did it. I don't feel like I should be in this body. Can you teach me what it is to be a man? And so I said, yeah, and I did that as best I knew how. I was fucking 21. But I did that best as I knew how. And in that also opened him up to rapping and being actually visual about it. And yes, I actually do rap, and because I mean every artist usually starts out as an undercover, like I'm writing little songs and at home, but you know, getting him to the point where he was like, yeah, fuck it, let's go on a stage and let's do this, that, and the other. So it is very exciting to get to the point as a mentor where now the person who I mentored has things that they can show me and mentor me with. Because, like I said, I always try to be very honest with myself. I started teaching you how to make music, and you surpassed me in making music. As far as the numbers, and maybe not the artistry, but as far as the numbers are concerned. Not to say that he's not an artistic person.
No, he's garnered a lot of success. Like,
but
his numbers are crazy.
That's how you gauge success in the music industry, is the numbers. Doing it song versus song is too abstract. That's a matter of opinion. The numbers are what we can call facts. And in fact, the way that I've been starting to try to build my numbers has been based off of things that I learned when I went on the trip to Atlanta with him, and by talking to him and figuring out what I could be doing better as far as marketing and things like that. That motherfucker's really cold, and always has been, at switching through social media accounts in a 20-minute period. Will hit at least 3 major ones. I remember when MySpace was still out, you used to hit MySpace. Facebook was just coming out, hit Facebook, and I think like Zynga or AIM or something was still around, and he would hit that too, and like can keep up with it and keep the conversations in line. For me, I can't do that. You can hit me on Facebook, definitely. You can hit me on Snapchat, and I will interact with you in messages on Snapchat. Sometimes I'll post on Snapchat. Same thing with, as you know, on Instagram. I rarely even message back on Instagram because I'm not on there a whole lot, which is horrible. I should be on all of that all of the time, and that's me knowing me. That's what I need. If somebody just gave me $100,000 to put into my career, that's what it would be spent on. It would not be spent on recording equipment or studio time or anything like that. It would be spent on a marketing team and a coach to teach me how, or the discipline of continuously doing those kinds of things. There are ways that I could be automating it, and I've tried, but it still takes an eye of what to post. There is an appropriate way to post. There's an appropriate time to post. There's an appropriate time to post the thing that you're posting. Videos are better received at certain times. Videos are usually received better than just an audio clip that you have to go to for like SoundCloud or something like that. You get more views than you get likes because the view counter just automatically counts it after a few seconds in the stories and stuff like that. And you have to know those things. You absolutely have to know how to trigger the algorithms the right way. Otherwise, not only will you not gain followers, but you can hurt yourself and lose followers and lose access to some of these platforms, especially like Spotify, with the bots and stuff that be on there giving fake plays. If you don't do it the right way and they feel like your plays are fake, they will remove your song. And even if those are all organic plays and all organic fans that you built on that song, if it doesn't register with their algorithm the right way, they're gonna take it down. So like,
sheesh, I didn't know that.
It's recent.
Oh, okay.
Last like 6 months, a year or so, something like that. But I listened to a YouTuber named Brandman Sean that I get a lot of this information from. I also listen to smartrapper.com. Granted, I've never actually heard of one of the dude's songs who does it, but he's got his receipts, his numbers, and stuff like that. So he makes enough money doing what he does in order to be able to do it all day and not work a regular job. So he's obviously doing something better than me. You feel me?
Yeah. No, that's great that you learn. I think the best way to learn that kind of stuff is through family. Like, that's one of the best ways. Like, having that having that connection. And I could use that lesson because I suck at the marketing. Like I'm terrible. Like post. I don't know. There's just something about how I post that I just know isn't the right way to do it.
But you don't know what the right way is.
Exactly. I'm in school right now, and I'm actually taking a marketing class in the fall. So because I'm getting associates in video production. Within associates, you need to they had however many bullshit classes. So that was one of the bullshit classes is marketing. So
if you need a project, hit me up. You can market my stuff. I'll let you do it. It'd be better than what I'm doing now, just to be honest. I mean, I've watched a few videos and I teach myself a little bit, but again, it's about consistency.
Yeah.
And I'd say the hardest thing for me with being a artist is the fact that I do have kids. Now, don't get me wrong, babies, if you hear this in a couple years, I love y'all. I would never get y'all up for nothing. But it does make it hard to do what you need to do. Personally speaking, for my craft, I live in a box as long as I got me some food in my belly. And if I was in Miami or something like that where outside ain't as cold, I would sleep in a fucking car while I fucking try to make it. It's shit. It's what I want to do. I'm that dedicated to it, but I can't do that with kids. And so I'll meet opportunities that I have to turn down because I have to put my children ahead of that in that situation where I can spend $500 to go do a show when you're including flight and hotel and eating money and stuff like that, or to go to a seminar or anything like that. Or I can spend $500 and get them new school clothes. Or the car broke down.
Yeah.
Which, being a mechanic, is a little cheaper for me. But still, life really does happen. And that is one thing that I would say artists who don't have children have an edge over artists who do have children is because the choices that they make don't reverberate as hard to other people's lives in most cases. I know some people take care of their grandmama and their mom and stuff like that, but when it's your child, you all they got. And again, not to take away from nobody's situation. Sometimes your mama, that's you all they got, but kids are not grown. You brought them here. It is your responsibility to take care of them. Period. And sometimes that means being selfish for them on their behalf. But sometimes it does also mean being selfish on your own behalf. Yeah. Have I taken trips and not brought the kids? Yeah, because I have to. Would they consider that to be selfish? Probably, because did Dad have fun? Yeah, I wouldn't have fun doing the thing that I love to do. But it's also in steps to make a better future for you.
Well, you can't dedicate 100% of yourself. I mean, it's just impossible.
So, but, I mean, and it's a lot, it's very similar with unsupportive significant others and artists. If they don't have their own life outside of their relationship and a job, they're not going to survive being an artist's significant other. Because being somebody's significant other is a large chunk of time responsibility. You do maintenance on people that you're in relationships with. And when you're in a romantic relationship, it's usually a daily maintenance. Hey, babe, how you doing? Let me give you a kiss to let you know that I love you. Oh, let me take you out to dinner because I haven't spent no time with you this week because I've been at work. Now imagine that you can't do that because you're somewhat successful and you're on tour around the country. Not to mention you're in an industry that is known for hoes and sluts and drugs and all that other stuff. And this person who is not prepared to be your partner because they have insecurities of a certain type, maybe they are justified in those insecurities because you've made them that way, because you weren't faithful or didn't keep it 100 or whatever it was. But now they blowing up your phone, fucking up your venue because they came in there causing a fucking scene, making it hard for people to work with you because they are coming to be ghetto as fuck and set shit up, and just it will either destroy you, destroy them, or destroy the both of y'all. And it's kind of similar with the kids. Obviously, you don't have an option about getting rid of the kids. Men, you do not have an option about getting rid of your kids. Period. If you made a baby, take care of the baby. If not, you're a bitch.
I cheers you to that.
Period. But you can't really walk away from the kids. But they do understand. My kids will see me making a song, and now they know, like, oh, shh, be quiet, Dad's right. Or they'll be like, my daughter tries to write now so that she can make her own songs and stuff like that, which I'm all for, motherfucker.
That's awesome.
Right away. As soon as you got it written, let me know. I'll record you, get it popping. Daddy got Distro Kid. You'll be the only kid in your school with an album on sale, bro. I promise you. Or my son, like, I got a video of him. Oh my God, I don't even know where it is anymore, but I got a video of him when he was like 2. He's on my mic setup, and he's rapping about kid life, like, and he's 2, so he doesn't really know how to talk. So you can see him like oversized headphones, and he's going to the beat, like nodding, and, like doing the thug rock, and he's like, he was rapping about his sister. All I know is he said something like, "Yeah, I'm 2. My little sister Kiki, she pee and she poop." I'm like, he said, "Yeah." I was like, oh man. So they have fun with it as much as they can, and they actually are one of my main gauges for my songs. If I play a song and they don't like it, that one does not get released. If the babies don't dance to it, it's trash, period. That's like, look at the fucking song Baby Shark. That song is annoying as fuck. But now they got a whole TV show and shit because every child in the world tapped their toe to it. That whoever Pink Fong is made a bajillion.
Yeah. Look at the Wiggles, man.
Yeah, like,
Wiggles killed it.
And they've been going for a long time.
Molly, look that up. I'm curious how much the Wiggles are worth. All these rappers out here.
Let's see if the Wiggles got
they're not in the Wiggles par. How much are the Wiggles worth?
20 million.
Holy shit.
Jesus. Substantial sum that rivals any other notable musician. Yeah, $20 million off of kids' songs, dude.
Jesus. That's like that's like up there. That's like people have made it.
Yeah, they made it. No, they definitely made it. Damn, they got a lot tougher crowd though. Kids are ruthless, dude. Kids are so fucking ruthless.
Yeah, but they probably, like, with the Wiggles, they're probably just like entranced by the fact that it's the Wiggles.
The fact that they made it to the point where they could instantly entrance the kids is the magic of it. Because when you're not known and you're trying to break in to be an artist, it's hard enough to convince an adult to be like, "Hey, I know you don't know me. Here's my song though." But when you go up to a kid, bro, they don't have filters. Nah, this shit sucks. Swear to God. I made a song, and I'm just doing a little bit of singing, which, if you know me personally, I can't really sing all that well. I'm not like super trash, but I'm definitely shouldn't probably be recording it. But I did one where I was singing a little bit, experimenting with a little bit of auto-tune and stuff like that, trying to figure out, if I can get that kind of a sound. And so I go to show it to my daughter, and I was like, okay, well, so Daddy did a little different. I did a little singing song, and she was like, "Daddy." She's like, "But you're not a good, you're better at rapping." She's learning filters, but she's like, "You're better at rapping." I said, "No, it's okay to say I'm not good at singing, because your boy knows he's not good at singing, but just listen, And so she listened to it, and she was like, "Oh, you're like Drake singing. Okay. Okay. This is good. Yeah, I like this. This is dope. I thought you was like singing. And I'm like that obviously didn't hurt my feelings at the time or ever really, but like that would hurt. Like, now imagine that multiplied by 100,000 kids in a stadium. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's who you have to convince because they don't even have their own money. They have to convince their parents that you are something good to invest their money in. You made 20 million off of that. That was your gamble? Shit, motherfucker, you did a motherfucking... Woo, you did the thing.
Yeah, and then if you piss off that many kids, you pissed off 3 times as many people because you pissed off the parents. The parents that took them. They're like, God, my kid didn't even like this.
Exactly. 3 times the pressure. And like an adult riot you can handle with security. What do you handle rioting toddlers with? Like, there's not enough nannies in the world. But yeah, no, that's interesting. They made $20 million. Shit, they didn't.
I feel like the Wiggles behind the scenes are just fucking savages. Like you would think like people who like have that persona, the kid persona, they're probably, once they clock off, they're probably calling hookers, doing coke.
Yeah. I mean, ain't that what happened to Steve from Blue's Clues? So
he joined a band. I don't know. I guess I would assume that, or I wouldn't assume. I would not be surprised if he did plenty of that in his. But yeah, I mean, why don't you look that up?
What happened to Steve?
Yeah, what happened to Steve? Because he's in a band. I know that.
Yeah, he's in a band. He went on to pursue other.
I heard he died.
Things.
Did he die?
I heard he died. It could have been just an internet rumor, though.
Yeah, I remember he was going to go to college, but I don't think that really worked out for him. He took on other acting roles.
I've actually seen him in some stuff then. Okay. I just didn't know that was Steve. He looked so different.
Damn. Looks like he looks like he started using heroin or something. No. What?
It was a porn star. It wasn't him.
Oh.
Wait, that died? Oh.
Rumors. Both of those. So he didn't actually go to jail.
Okay.
Damn, I didn't even read the heroin part. I was just guessing.
That's funny.
He looks like he's on heroin. Like that second picture, the one with the glasses. Yeah, he looks like he's on heroin.
Well, he went bald.
Balding, yeah.
He went bald really early, and that was part of the reason he quit.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Early male pattern baldness. Get him every time, man. Damn. That's funny though, because Steve is really like, even though I was a teenager when that came out, my brother is 8 years younger than me. Actually, you might have heard of him, Typo.
Yeah, that sounds familiar.
Yeah, that's my little bro. But he grew up on Blue's Clues, and so like, it's hard for me to even check my mail without going, here's the mail, it never fails. It makes me want to wag my tail. Like, even saying the word mail triggers the song in my head. I'm like, dude, fuck up. You were like 14 when that, like... But I wasn't 14. Yeah, I was about 14 when that came out. But, like, I loved my brother, so he got to control the TV a lot. But, like...
It's so weird looking back on, like, those old kid shows. Like, how fucking great. Like, Teletubbies? That was an insane concept. Like...
They're elves with TVs in their stomach or something.
Yeah. Like, not... And I mean, they're just Teletubbies. I mean, they're not even really related to anything. It's its own thing. Yeah. They have televisions. There's a son that's a baby that cries... And they live in like a hobbit hole. And they have a vacuum. Was it their best friend's the vacuum, right?
New.
What?
New.
Yeah. New. God.
No, what I realized is that Disney's music writers, those guys are actually pretty hot. They some geniuses. 4 out of my 5 biological children are girls. So I watch a lot of Disney. And let me tell you, some of that shit slaps. Like, Be Prepared by Scar in the original Lion King. That song is a jabber. He straight smooth told him the whole everything, bro. We finna kill Mufasa. It was a diss track. If you didn't catch that it was a diss track, you wasn't paying attention. And the xylophone part in it, that was ham. Like, what? Like, okay, he did it with a little flair on it too. What else? What's another good one? I Can Show You the World. Is that the name of the song? The one where they're on
Aladdin?
Yeah. Or A Whole New World. That's what it is. That's really a decent ass love song. It really is. Like, especially when you actually take into what the story, like, it's teenagers and they've been told no for various reasons that they can't do these things, and now they're literally flying on a magic carpet, and dude's finna pull the princess, and he got some swag on him. Like, I'm like, okay, these songs are, maybe I'm just a parent, but like, they definitely slap. I've definitely taken into my routine listening to like dubstep or EDM versions of those songs with my kids. That's the only way I get through like Baby Shark, like those kinds of fads, is I will find a child artist or artist that works for children who does those kinds of songs. And the Baby Shark version I listen to, the R&B version of Baby Shark, that motherfucker jump. That's a jumper right there. And the dance that go with it too, oh, killing it. Damn. But yeah, no, I'd be bored at work thinking about it. I'd be bored at work like, man, how many more ways can I make money in music? Like, how can I do it?
You know, I was always more drawn towards Pixar. I don't know. Like, there's this like just this negative. Fuck yeah. They make you cry, man. Like almost every time.
They do good stuff.
But I don't know. Like something probably just about my negative upbringing. Like I just found something so cheesy in like those Disney sing-song, movies, and I just like I don't know. Like
you do realize Pixar is Disney Pixar.
No, I get that, but it's different though.
Now, yeah, Pixar animation studios are different than like the Disney.
Yeah. I mean, I understand they're the same company, but they have a different. I don't think they've ever done something with music, have they?
Like music, like
I don't think they've ever made a movie.
Snow Whitey.
Yeah. I don't think they've ever done anything like that.
They do like
they're all filmed.
Toy Story and Monsters.
Let's count Randy Newman.
Yeah.
Maybe that. Well, shit, man. We've been going for a hot minute. Yeah. I think this might be a good place to wrap up.
That's cool.
Well, before we go, is there anything else you want to mention, or you want to mention your socials or anything like that?
Calima 420 on Instagram. You can look for me on Spotify. Let's see. I will be actually putting in the song tonight to DistroKid. So coming soon will be a new song called Mozambique. If I could play it on my phone, maybe. I don't know how well that would pick up, but
there might be a potential copyright issue anyway.
Yeah. You're right.
It's not really. I mean, the likelihood's low. It's probably not that big of a deal. But I have, on YouTube gotten deal.
Damn.
Yeah, copyright shit. I mean, I don't make money, so it's not really that. But if there was a point where I would make money, those videos would not be able to do it.
Yeah.
So,
man, that's just weird to think about, because I have done a little research as being an artist, and I know that technically speaking, there's certain, like, everything once it's been released is technically free to the public to use. However, it's free at like a certain rate, and you have to do a certain thing. You have to write them and give them like a notice of intent to use their song or something in the thing. And then you have to give them like 7 weeks to respond to it the appropriate way. And then if they don't respond, you automatically get for certain things. It was obviously a quick read but for certain things, you get the right to use it. And then if it becomes an issue, you pay them whatever the market value of using a song. It doesn't even have to be that song. So like if I did it with like Billie Jean or something like that, and it slipped through the cracks somehow, it could be like pennies on the dollar of what I would have owed versus wise. However, no, yeah, you're right, copyright.
Yeah, it is a lot, like for music and stuff though, it is a lot easier to like slip through the cracks these days, because you just kind of rely on the algorithm. Calima, God fucking Calima.
Yes.
It's been a hell of a time, brother. Yeah. Thanks for coming on. Shit. I think stay tuned. Next week we have Kill Phantom with a B at the end though, so it's like tomb. Phantom.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah,
I like that.
He's got some interesting like rage rap type stuff. It's an interesting genre. Yeah, I recommend check him out.
That is one thing I'm starting to like to see in rap, is like, it's a little irritating, but at the same time I love it. When I was growing up in rap, it was gangster rap, East Coast rap, West Coast rap, but both East Coast and West Coast rap were types of gangster rap. Now you've got like,
it's everywhere.
Now you have more like alternative raps. Like like punk rock types of raps. You know what I'm saying? Like, I guess Juice WRLD's kind of like that a little bit.
SoundCloud poppy.
Yeah. That lets you actually speak on your emotions, because rap is not necessarily an emotional genre.
Yeah, it's come a long way, man. It's a lot. People have the stigma, but it's a lot different. All right, everybody.
Yeah,
we're gonna get out of here. Have a good evening. Hope you've been chilling, smoking, drinking, doing whatever.
Most definitely. We'll have a good evening. It is my best friend's birthday today, so I guess I should say happy birthday, Taylor.
Hey.
You've been there for me through a few different things, so when we go out tonight, I got your back. P.S. Anybody dumb enough out here to think that they really finna actually celebrate National Rape Day, come holla at me. I got something for you, ass. I got something for you, goofy ass.
We actually have a special episode for now. I'm just kidding.
So bring him in. Set him up, Dano. Set him up. I got some aggression. I don't think anybody would ever really convict me for that. You did what? You put the hands on him? Yeah. Give this man a key to the city.
Calima, you've been a pleasure. Great person to have on. Hope to have you on again soon.
All right, man. Definitely look forward to working with you in the future.
Tight.